sitcom to actually have an openly gay character. Billy Crystal played him on the show, and that was like a huge deal, right? And so and since then, and even in those days and even in the 80s, they had a lot of people who were playing gay that were always basically eunuchs. They didn't have sex, they didn't do anything, they never referred to them sexually, really. It was always just about they were always depressed and sad characters who didn't, fit in, and no one loved them because they were gay and whatever. It was always like that until around the early 90s when things started to change on television, and Will and Grace in the mid 90s really changed things a lot. And then before that as well with some other shows, but generally, Will and Grace and sitcoms like that began to portray gay people as real people and with having sex lives and actually having, different politics and being, multifaceted people, multidimensional people, and not just one thing. And so now we have Modern Family these days. If you guys watch Modern Family, I don't know. Those of you who have a TV and watch TV. But Modern Family has been on for several years. It's one of the most popular sitcoms on TV. But the thing has been that the two lead characters, Cam and Mitch, who are married on the show, or no, they weren't married. They've been together forever, and they have adopted a kid and everything else. They finally now are engaged on the show, and so they're going to get married and everything else, right? That's great, wonderful, terrific. That should be. However, they never ever have sex. They never talk about their just like you would have with a regular heterosexual couple in a sitcom. They talk about sex. They talk about everything, or any kind of show, drama series, whatever. They explore every facet of that person's life, not just everything but sex. And so with Cameron and Mitch, they've never really kind of used them as, or what's the word? Kind of portrayed them in any kind of sexual light. They never show a real affection to each other except a peck on the cheek or something. They never, have any kind of sexual innuendo or tension. It's always just, they're very whitewashed gay men who have no sexual desire at all, basically. And that's just unrealistic. So that's one of the criticisms of the show, is that they're not really, even though they're finally getting married, which is a good step in the right direction, they're not really showing gays on that show in an accurate light. They're just kind of showing gay people in a washed out way. Yes, I do remember Cameron in Girls Will Be Girls. Yes, I do. I love that movie. Hilarious. And since you told me about I'd already seen it when you told me about it, but since you mentioned it like a month ago, I keep meaning to go watch it again because it's so fucking hilarious. But anyway, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there's this hilarious movie called Girls Will Be Girls. And it has Leslie... what's his name? I can't remember. The little short guy, I think he's in it. I can't remember. No, he's not in that movie. It's not him. Oh, it's like Coco Peru. She's a drag queen. And then there's the guy, I can't remember his name. I can't remember the guy's name. Let me look it up, the movie. Hold on. Coco Peru, of course, yes. Jack Plotnick, yes. Jack Plotnick's hilarious. Love him. And who else does it have in it? I can't remember the other guy's name, but when you see them, you'll recognize them, especially the one that plays the redhead. Oh my God. So hilarious. They're all funny, but the whole movie is fucking hilarious. And it's basically drag queens playing real women, basically. And one of them's like a movie star who doesn't have an eye. Didn't she miss an eye or something? She's missing an eye or something. Can't remember. And like a washed up movie star from the old days or whatever. And one wants to be she's like an ingenue, and they all want to be famous or whatever. And they all live together, and they're like complete bitches to each other. It's hilarious. But anyway, it's hilarious. You have to watch it if you've never seen it before. So if you've never seen Girls Will Be Girls, definitely rent it on Netflix or on Hulu if it's on there, or rent it wherever you can because it's worth it. It's fucking hilarious. You can even go to YouTube, I'm sure, and there are clips of it there as well. But it's hilarious. So anyway, also talking about gay weddings, like on Modern Family, President Bush Sr., the first one, the one that's got half a brain, he actually was never in favor of gay marriage at all. And however, just recently, he actually witnessed a wedding of two two lesbians. I guess they were friends of his or something. I don't know. But he was signed as a witness, was there at the wedding and blessed it and everything else, right? Gave it his blessing, I mean. So it's interesting to me how these presidents, a lot of times they say they're so against gay rights, and yet when they come out of office, they sometimes seem to do like an about face. And I don't know if that's always because while it's in office, it's not popular, if you're a Republican especially, to be pro-gay, or if they just truly have a change of heart, or if they never felt that, they're just doing it for politics. I don't know. But it's great that he did that for whatever reason, even though he's half senile. I probably didn't even know. Probably thought one of the lesbians was a man. But anyway, and one of his socks apparently was the wrong color. He was like wearing two mismatched socks, and so he may not even know where he was. He probably thought it was like, some girl named Chris. It looked like a guy marrying some woman. But anyway, it's good that people can actually have a change of heart and evolve, and a lot of people can't. So, and earlier today, I was told by someone in a chat room, whom shall remain nameless, by the way, that I pretend to be nice, but I'm really evil. And one thing I've never been called in my entire life is evil. I've never been called evil. I've never been called that by anyone. So I find it interesting to me that people would say that about me, because it's simply not true. Now, if you are on the wrong side of me, as I've told you before on the show, then yeah, I can see how you might think that, but that's your own fault for doing it in the first place, right? But I'm a really great person. I love myself, and I know who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. So to say that I'm evil just means that you don't know me at all. Oh, yeah. And speaking of evil, there is a new biopic, I guess you'd say, of Donatella Versace coming out next week, or this weekend. I think it's on Sunday or Saturday or Sunday or something. And it is about Donatella Versace. If you don't know who Donatella Versace is, she is the sister of Versace. What was his first name? I can't remember his first name. What the fuck was his first name? Versace's first name. It was, oh my God, I can't remember. But anyway, the guy Versace, the brand that he created, his sister was like a complete bitch character, right? And she's a character all to herself. She's always drunk and high and everything else. And so after he was murdered, I don't know if you remember in the 90s, Gianni was his name. Gianni Versace was his name. When Gianni was murdered in the 90s, he was really good friends with Princess Di and good friends with Elton John. And he was murdered on his front doorstep by this guy who I can't remember why. But anyway, he murdered him. And so Donatella Versace inherited the house of Versace, which is this huge fashion empire, of course, right? And she really she was completely coked out all the time and completely drunk and didn't really know what she was doing. And, she didn't really pay much attention to it. And so she inherits all this power and this money and this fame. And she's really butt ugly, by the way. She looks like a horse. But anyway, she's really not an attractive woman. But Gina Gershon is playing her in this upcoming movie. And so it is going to be very interesting. If you like campy, bitchy women, then it's a show for you to watch. I think it's going to be on Lifetime, and it comes like on Saturday or something. And then what else is going on in the gay news? Let's see. Yeah. So Madonna, I'm a huge Madonna fan, and she just came out with this really awesome art piece. It's kind of a performance art piece that was on video that premiered in New York this week, and it's amazing. It actually really moved me, and I'm not just saying it because I'm a Madonna fan, but because the message is so strong in this documentary little snippet, 17 minutes long, whatever, but it's an awesome message in this, and it's talking about. Well, I'll tell you what the press release says. It says it's called Secret Project Revolution. That's what she called it. It's a 17-minute film, and it's really not. It's kind of, as art is, it can be sort of confusing and confounding to people who don't really open their mind to art. If you look at art of any kind, whether it's a painting or listen to a certain piece of music or it's a performance piece like this, whatever it is, sometimes people think, oh, it makes no sense. What are they trying to say? Whatever. That's the thing. You have to look at beneath the surface. Art is subjective, of course, but it's also something that is very something that's very usually has symbolism in it. Usually, almost all art has some sort of symbolism, right? Has some sort of kind of symbolic meaning behind it. They're trying to deliver a message or make commentary on the state of something. Maybe it's politics in the country or homophobia or racism or whatever the case is. And so Madonna has always done this in all of her music, but this is a different way to do it. But anyway, the press release says Art for Freedom, as it's called, is a global digital initiative led by Madonna designed to fuel free speech, to respond, address, and protest persecution around the world. It is an online public art project encouraging the world to express their personal meaning of freedom and revolution in the form of video, music, poetry, and photography. Public submissions will become part of the Art for Freedom platform. Contributors can join the project by uploading original artwork or tagging original posts hashtag Art for Freedom. So you can participate in this if you too consider yourself an artist of some sort, as I do myself. You can actually participate in this. You can submit poetry, videos, paintings, photography, whatever, music that you want to create that expresses what you think freedom is or what it means to you. And it means freedom of expression, and it means freedom to be yourself, and freedom to be different than everybody else. So if you want to watch this video, you can go to, I think it's on Art for Freedom. Let me go make sure before I actually, so you can go to artforfreedom.com and you can play the video. It's on the very first page when it comes on, and push play. And if you muddle through the first like 4 or 5 minutes, which are kind of like confusing, it begins to make sense, and you begin to see the pattern and what she's trying to say. And as it gets toward the end, I began to really feel, I began to get sad and really, because she's really kind of expressing a restriction of freedom and persecution in this art piece. It's really awesome. I love it. So of course it's Madonna. Yes, I know I'm biased, but honestly, even from an objective perspective, it's really has an incredibly strong message. So definitely watch it if you can. And it's hard to believe that Madonna is 55 years old this year. She turned 55 years old in August, and she is really the true iconoclast. You know, I call myself iconoclast, you know, and I am iconoclastic in my own way. But in terms of, you know, what it means to be a true iconoclast, someone who really makes waves the way she does and has a message, she's awesome. So watch it if you're interested, and you're interested in art. You'll definitely be interested in seeing this piece. It's really, really cool. So next up we have, oh, by the way, today I'm trying to do an hour show without any music. So it's not easy, but I'm doing my best I can. And I don't know, by the way, if any of you know the requirements. I know you're not supposed to use music if it's not your own, but I have music that is my own, whether it's I composed myself or music that I have paid for someone else to make for me, and like my opening or whatever. But I'm not sure if you can use that, or if you can't use any music at all, or if you can't use clips or anything. So I'm trying to do an entire show where I literally just sit here and talk. And I used to do these kind of shows all the time on BTR. I haven't done one in a long time where I just literally sit here and just talk, and no music to break it up, to give me a break from talking or anything. So we're going to see if I can make it another 30 minutes talking. So if people would actually call the show occasionally, call in to talk to me, then I would be able to talk to people, but no one ever calls the show. So I never even set it up that way anymore because no one calls the show. So whatever, bitches. So what else is going on in the news? Oh, yes. So there are new federal rules for recognizing gay marriages. Now, it has been stated that in order for, all states now have to recognize gay marriage to some degree, like in certain benefits or whatever. So, for example, if you're filing taxes, you can file taxes as a couple. Now, regardless of whatever state you live in, you are entitled now to the benefits of your partner if they have benefits at their place of employment, and you are their spouse, and they offered them to spouses already, then you have to also be included and be offered that as well if they offer it. So it is great that things are changing in that respect finally, and things are actually going better for we gay people here. I think people are somewhat, astounded by the fact that it was even overturned, that part of DOMA, but it was. And